What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Bears Capital podcast. Today we're just going to be talking about some of the recent press conferences that happened and what was said and what's going around in the league right now. And yeah, let's get started. So first off, Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy addressed the media for the first time after free agency with all the signings like Nick Foles and Robert Quinn, Jimmy Graham, and they did say that the QB competition will be open. It'll be an open competition. My thoughts on this is probably the best case scenario for Mitch Trubisky if he wants to win his job back, if he wants to be a starter. He's got to prove that he can play better than Nick Foles, and this is perfect for Mitch. He gets to prove himself, and if Mitch doesn't prove himself, we got a Super Bowl winning quarterback in Nick Foles right behind him, ready to take his place. So it's all about adding competition. You can't go wrong with it. Someone's always going to be there for your backup, and it's always just the best case scenario. Foles, he could be the favorite to win this. I'm not sure. I mean, if you're looking at the better player, I think it's obviously Foles, but Trubisky could still improve. Trubisky, had some flaws. He needs to start reading coverage maybe a little better. Scramble more. It's partially Nagy's fault, I think. But I think it could go either way. I think if the season were to start right now, I'd rather have Foles. I would rather have Nick Foles. I love Mitch as a person, but he needs to get better at playing. And Nick Foles right now is the better quarterback, and I think he will, if the season started today, he would start. But still an open competition. We'll see what happens there. Next thing Matt Nagy addressed and Ryan Pace was that starters will play this preseason, which is a great thing because last year Mitch Trubisky didn't throw a single pass in preseason and looked terrible the first couple games of the season. But that's a really good get the stars going. Hopefully no injury happens, knock on wood. But we need starters playing in preseason is I think a great thing, an upgrade from last year. Maybe not a lot of the defensive starters will play, but I think Trubisky and Foles will be out there a lot. And it's just great for the offense who struggled a lot last year to get those extra reps. And another thing that's happening is a virtual draft. The virtual draft will be happening, obviously, the coronavirus right now. No teams, no GMs, coaches are allowed into the facilities, so a draft from home will be happening. Via Zoom, I think the front office will be talking about, which is probably concerning, about, what if, a lot of people have been talking about, what if someone's technology or what if someone's internet goes out in the middle of the draft? What happens? What if someone hacks their Zoom? That's a very, possible situation. It's very concerning too. It'd be interesting to see what happens, how smoothly this runs. I assume it'll hopefully go fine. But it could be an interesting draft to see. Speaking of the draft, the Bears have explored trading in the first round per source. I heard two names to watch are Isaiah Wilson, the offensive tackle from Georgia, and Grant Delpit, LSU safety. Those are two good names, good first-round value. I would like the Bears to hopefully trade up for him. It'd be a later pick they'd probably trade up for, and I'm guessing it'll have to be for their second-round pick, probably number 43 overall, and another pick later in the round. But honestly, I think it's worth it for the value that we're getting, hopefully in Isaiah Wilson or Grant Delpit. I'd honestly rather have Isaiah Wilson, maybe put him at right guard. I'm not sure if he's a natural tackle or guard, but right guard is needed. We discussed this before. Everyone knows that. Isaiah, I think if the Bears do trade up to a late first round pick, Isaiah Wilson will be the guy. But Grant Delpit is also an option they could pick. The safety. Who's going to line up alongside Eddie Jackson. We don't know yet. It could still be Deion Bush, and they could maybe draft one of the later, with their other second round pick, and they'll compete. That'll probably be the situation. But honestly, I think Deion Bush will be fine there. And if we do, I think offensive line is the biggest need right now. And the Bears, if they do trade up, should be picking offensive line over safety at the moment. And it's not like the safety, right guard right now, it's the Seahawks. We got acquired from the Seahawks, Jermaine Ifedi, who could use some work. I know we got him for good value, but he still had a rough, 4 years in Seattle. And it would just be nice to have some insurance in Isaiah Wilson to hopefully help out the offensive line. And that is if we trade up. If we don't, the 2 second-round picks do work as well. We can still get good value there. And then, good starters there. But we'll see about that. That would be a great move for Chicago to move up. We'll have to see what happens. Should be an interesting draft night. And the other thing, the Bears still have $11 million in cap space. That is a lot considering the moves we made. Pretty big signings. Robert Quinn, $70 million, 5 years. Jimmy Graham, 2 years, $16 million. And Nick Foles, it was a lot. I can't give you the numbers right now, but they could still sign a player. That's a decent amount that can help out. And another thing, this could connect with the draft too. Players like Tony Jefferson from Baltimore, he's a free agent, and Kelechi Osemele are options too, or is an option too. He's an offensive tackle for the Jets, who could be a major upgrade. He's been to the Pro Bowl a couple times, All Pro. Great option too. Now I think what the Bears could do is they could trade up to a late round, first round pick, and if sign someone like, let's say they want to improve the offensive tackle or offensive line with that pick, they could sign Tony Jefferson too for some insurance, which would be great because Tony Jefferson and Deion Bush would probably battle it out for that position, and then you still have hopefully someone like Isaiah Wilson who can start in the right guard position. And it just works out. And $11 million in cap space is a lot. Still a great opportunity for the Bears to sign a good player, and I expect them to. Probably waiting a little bit for that value to go down. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see. That's gonna do it for this episode of the Bears Capital Podcast. Subscribe for more, and Bear down.